Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Travel Plays YouTube channel. Today is Thursday, December 5th, and I'm back for a Thursday afternoon in college basketball. We're going to be taking a look at a couple games today. We're going to be brought back down to earth after the fun games on Wednesday night, but we do have a few games to look at, two plays, two player props. Before that, let's take a look at the recap from Wednesday. Tough day betting, but very fun atmosphere to watch most of those games. Had a 1-4 day, actually. The player props, we're going to start with those. RJ Davis had 18 points with about 8 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game against Alabama. He did shoot 1,000 times from the field. He just did not score a bucket in the last 9 minutes of the game. I think he went 7 of 24 from the field, one of, I want to say, 12 from 3 points. So, again, his shots just aren't falling. But sooner rather than later, those shots will be falling. Missed that one by the hook. Let's start with the first game I watched. UConn, -2.5, home cooking. And we have to start looking at just home dogs every single time because home dogs, they won yesterday. And UConn was not one of those home dogs, but they were getting some home cooking. Fell down early in the game. Alex Caravan did not play due to a head injury. Saw that he hit his head in the tournament, flew back with the team, so he didn't have a concussion. So I don't know why he was out. Maybe just for precautionary reasons he was out of this game, but he didn't play. UConn did win by 4. We had the -2.5. We had a foul called up 3 with 0.4 seconds left, and they went to review. UConn up by 3 points. They went to review on the foul call because the horn did sound as he caught the ball. If you ask me, as a person who had UConn -2.5, I guess they were only up by 2. My bad. My apologies. UConn was up by 2. If you ask me, as a person who had UConn -2.5, he did not foul him before the end of the shot clock, or before the end of the game, and they went to review and put on 0.4 seconds. So if you had Baylor +2.5, I feel horrible for you, but UConn did cover because the refs went to the monitor with no time left to put on 0.4 seconds. Marquette, +6.5. This one hurt. Down basically the entire game, came back, tied it up 61-61. They did not score a point in 5 straight minutes from the 9-minute mark to probably the 3-minute mark or something like that. And then they did pour on 9 points at the end of the game, but it was too little too late. Iowa State took that one by 11. They were amazing at home. They played great defense in the first half. Couldn't miss a shot really in the first half either. So Iowa State did win that game. We had Auburn +1.5. I really liked the first 5 minutes of the game. They were up 13-3. I went to bed at halftime. It was 42-37 or something like that at half. And then I just saw that Duke won 84-78. So high-scoring game. Duke scoring a lot of points against that Auburn defense, something to maybe look at later. And then North Carolina on the money line, they get run out of their own gym against Alabama without right cell in the first game. So Alabama is still Alabama. They made a ton of shots. They played good defense, I guess. Well, actually, they didn't play good defense because RJ Davis just missed 16 shots. So, yeah, UNC might be in trouble if RJ Davis doesn't make his shots. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on. Had a fun day watching. Was able to get one win on the board. But, that's not good enough. And we're going to try to bounce back today. We're going to be looking at a fun matchup, at least one of them, between Purdue and Penn State. Both these teams don't like each other. This is going to be a conference game. Purdue's top 10, I just don't care. We're going to take the home favorite in this game. I did see Penn State is going to be the favorite. They're -1 right now in the morning. I'm going to take them on the money line. I don't care Purdue's ranked that high. Purdue has a couple good players. They're returning their guards from last season. They've been there for, 4 seasons now, maybe 3 or 4 seasons with Lawyer and Smith. They also have Trey Kaufman-Wren. I remember him from last season. A super athletic guy. He was more of a role player over the last couple of years for Purdue. He's the lead man now, scoring 18 points per game. They do have some good players, but after we get past those guys, I don't love the mix of players they have. They got to mix and match a lot of guys throughout the game. There are only 3 players this season for Purdue averaging over 22 minutes per game, so they mix and match a ton. But Purdue does have a new Zach Edey. He's a freshman. They brought him in. His last name is Jacobson. He doesn't play a lot, only 13 minutes per game, scores 6 points per game, but he is 7'4". They just continue to grow these guys in a factory. I'm sure by the time he's a senior, he's going to be 7'4", 350 pounds of pure muscle, and he's going to dominate everybody in college basketball and get every foul call known to man. But right now, he's not a factor, so we could just move on from him. I do see this Penn State team, and I see potential everywhere. We have Ace Baldwin Jr., we have Hicks, we have Johnson, we have Kern, somebody, I can't pronounce his name, but I'm going to take him my player prop today as well this season. We've been scoring a bunch of points, this Penn State team. Front court's great, back court's great. We have size down low. We have good play on the defensive side. This is a Penn State team that I really think has a chance to be very good in the Big Ten. I don't know if they can win the Big Ten Conference, but I do think they can be competitive. They are led in the scoring department by Ace Baldwin Jr., but they have 5 guys this season scoring above 10 points per game. They pass around the ball like you're sitting around the dinner table, making sure everybody gets a piece of that pie. I love everything about this Nittany Lions team. They have played well this season. Only the loss was against Clemson, and now we know Clemson's a pretty good team. Took down Kentucky the other day. Purdue does have a couple top 25 wins this season, but playing on the road in conference, it's a different animal. We saw that. We saw that yesterday with all the home teams being able to play competitive games. We saw Iowa State beat up on Marquette. We saw Duke beat up on Auburn. Playing at home has many, many advantages, and you get home cooking most of the time by the referees. Give me Penn State here on the money line as the play. Second play of the day. 2 teams that I love, 2 teams that don't get enough love. St. Louis going up against the Dons of San Francisco. I do like both these teams. St. Louis, probably 5 or 6 years ago, I liked them. San Francisco, I still like them. I guess over the last 4 years or 5 years. I like when they play Gonzaga. It feels like they always have a high-scoring game in that one. Bring back Khalil Shabazz. Bring back those Tyrell Roberts-led teams. I love those players. They scored 20 points per game, felt like every single time. It was really fun to watch them. They are still pretty fun to watch. They do have a leading scorer this season, putting up 17 points per game. I'm going to talk about him later. But they're only putting up 78.4 points per game, and that's okay. It's still a lot of points per game, just not as much as we've seen in the past from the San Francisco team. They are playing a lot better defense this season. The spread's a little bit concerning, 9.5. I am going to take that. I do think a lot of people are going to be on St. Louis because they do have a lot of good players, a lot of players that score a bunch of points, but I am a fan of Wichita State. I watched Wichita State play St. Louis. I want to say it was right before Thanksgiving, maybe. Yeah, I think it was right before Thanksgiving. Anyway, Wichita State's not that good, and they dominate St. Louis in every aspect of the game. They played great defense, which I think San Francisco can do. They were able to score whenever they wanted to because this St. Louis team has been poor defensively this season, giving up 73 points per game. San Francisco on the year does have a good win against Boise State. The only 2 losses they were against Clemson, who, again, pretty good team, and then Memphis, who I also think is a pretty good team this season. But for St. Louis, they've losses to Wichita State. They lost that game by 25 points. I'm pretty sure that was a coin flip game as well, if I remember correctly. They also lost to Santa Clara. Other than that, they haven't played a team in the top 75 at Ken Palm. So I'm going to take San Francisco at home in this game, minus 9.5. They're going to play good defense, going to be efficient offensively. I'm going to take the minus 9.5 as the play. Let's go to the player props. For the first player prop of the day, I will not let my vocabulary keep us away from some money because we have a guy who's from Switzerland that we're going to be taking in this game over his total points. I'm going to try extremely hard to pronounce this name correctly. You guys know how I am with names. If you give me 3, 4, 5 vowels in a name, you might as well just wrap it up. I just can't do it. But I'm sure a lot of people are like that. I'm sure a lot of people butcher this name. I do want to be respectful. That's why I don't like saying the names out loud. But I'm going to give it a try. Yannick Conan Niederhauser. Yannick Conan Niederhauser. It just doesn't sound right. Niederhauser might be right. Niederhauser. Over his total points going up against Purdue. Purdue has their best player down low, but he's just a smidge undersized. I think he's 6'8". This is a 7-footer coming over from NIU. He's going to dominate in this game. On the year, he scored 14.3 points per game, 6.5 rebounds. He does not see the floor a ton, only playing 22 minutes per game, but that is going to change in this game. He is 7 foot tall, 250 pounds. He does start for Penn State, so we're going to be able to take him as a player prop, and I do think he's going to dominate down low. Yannick has scored double-digit points in every game that he's played over 15 minutes this season. He's coming off a 27-point performance going up against Buffalo. He played his second most minutes of the year, 26 minutes. He did play 32 minutes also going up against Clemson, so I do think we're going to see him on the floor for more minutes in a more tightly contested game. I'm going to take his over total points as the first play of the day. For the second play of the day, we're going to be looking at Malik Thomas of San Francisco to go over his total points. He is the leader this year of the Dons going up against that SLU defense. I said it in the breakdown that defense for St. Louis this season has been miserable. They're giving up 73 points per game, nearly 45% shooting from the opposing teams. And it's going to be a great game for Malik Thomas and the entire San Francisco team for that matter. On the season, Malik Thomas, he's scoring 17.3 points per game. He's been good from the field, shooting 45.7%. Only problem this season has been the three-point shot. Again, Decent from the field, 45.7%, but he's shooting 23.5% from the outside. This is a senior who was with San Francisco last year, scoring 12.4 points per game, played 23 minutes per game, and he did shoot over 40% from deep last year. So I just think he's struggling a little bit from three. I do think he's a very good three-point shooter. He's been very aggressive this season, which is why I like him even more. He's attempted over 7 free throws per game on average, and he's making over 80% of those. So I do think he's going to be at the line a lot. St. Louis sloppy defense leads the fouls. I like the matchup here for Malik Thomas. Give me his over total points as the final play of the day. Let's go to the recap graphic. We're going to take Penn State on the money line. The Dons minus 9.5 against St. Louis. Yannick, Conan, Niederhauser. That's got to be close to right. If it's not, I apologize. Over his total points going up against Purdue, and then Malik Thomas over his total points going up against St. Louis. I am going to be trying to do some rebounds and assists on Saturday's slate. The points are just not working out. Lost a couple hooks. Might be looking at some unders maybe on Saturday or some rebounds and assists, but we'll get to that on Saturday. But for right now, that's going to do it for the NCAA basketball picks and props for Thursday, December 5th slated games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please sure to drop a like this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.